So welcome to my Starlink Generation 3 satellite and Harbor Freight flagpole mounting solution. I guess we're going to call it something like that. So I've just got this new Starlink Generation 3 satellite, which I love. But I've noticed in the campground, in fact there's one right there across the street from me, and but there's probably 20 of the Generation 2s. Nobody around here has a Generation 3. So I had to come up with my own way of mounting it to the ladder. So I've already assembled everything and got it working. It works great. Now I kind of disassembled it, kind of put it back together so I can show you step by step what I did to get to this point. It wasn't that difficult. I'm down here in the campground with just basic tools and was able to accomplish it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the crazy mount that comes with it. Of course, you got the kickstand, which is fine if you just want to maybe put it on a picnic table, but if you want to mount it on the back of your RV, like I want to do, you need another solution. Now they have a mount that just snaps in here and it gives you like a large 2-inch hole, but it's very shallow and there's no way I would put that on a pole and trust it. This thing's too expensive to risk it to wind and it snapping off. But there is a better solution if you instead buy remember this is for the Generation 3. So if you buy for the Generation 3 the standard wall mount, it's $55 free shipping from Starlink's website. But this is a much stronger solution. This is made out of aluminum, and then this is plastic, but it looks like it's very strong. A lot of ribs in it. So this gives us a really good base that we can mount to the flagpole, so it will not go anywhere. And so I'm going to show you how I got to that point. What else you need to buy is this flagpole buddy, and let me walk to the back of the RV and I'll show you what it looks like. Very, very simple to install. It comes with the tools you need to install it with. A little Allen wrench. So there's the base. Then there's part at the top. It's really nice the way you can just, I'll show you, because you just run the pole up at an angle and then you tilt it and it locks in place. I really like that. Alright, now, of course here's our flagpole we got from Harbor Freight. But we got to do a little re-engineering on the flagpole. What else? Okay, tool-wise, we need a 1/4-inch drill bit. The stepper bit came in real handy. And these PTO pins, 3 of those. The reason we need those is because these flagpoles are designed to they have like a twist lock mechanism. I didn't trust that mechanism. I was afraid in a windstorm, if it got twisted or unlocked, that whole thing could telescope and slam down and damage the dish. So I came up with a solution with these PTO pins. I'll show you in just a second. So let's see here. Yeah, and the drill's handy. You'll need that. Also a 3/8 bit. I use the 3/8 bit on the bottom end. I'll show you here when I get it apart. To open up, there's a piece of plastic in the bottom. I have to open up wider in order for the Cat 5 cable to go through and come out the top. Alright, so step 1, we got to take apart this flagpole, because I'll put links to all this stuff below the video, because the first 2 sections we're not going to be using because they're too large in diameter for the base of the flagpole buddy. So let me show you how to disassemble that. So I failed to point this out. This was originally on top of the flagpole, had threads in it where this little ball would screw on there, making it nice and pretty. So now I've just drilled it out, so now I can adapt my Starlink satellite dish. Okay, getting closer for a test run. This is nice strong aluminum. This is pretty tough plastic here. See if it's a snap in place with one hand. Nice loud click. Okay, so the goal is to try to tell you what, let me hook it onto the antenna first and then I'll try mounting it on this. Okay, let's try that. So to remove the kickstand, you got to lift up pretty hard on this area right here so it release from these locks. So lift up pretty hard, pull right back, and let's see how this works. Alright, here we go, karate chop. Make sure it's locked in place. Looks good. Alright, kind of dirty. I'm gonna wipe it off. We had a rainstorm. I had it here on the picnic table for a couple days. Let me shine this up a little bit. I'm such a dummy. Forgot to thread my cable through first. So don't do like me. Thread the cable first and then lock it in place. Okay, here we go. So step one, so we got the lower section we want to get rid of, and the second section we don't want. So all you gotta do, these are just glued in place. You see a little glue there. Just give it a little tap. Maybe a block of wood would help. There's very little glue on there. All right. See, that just comes right apart. So we do away with that part. This is the part we're going to be using. This is that little mechanism that locks it. I don't trust those. So we can get that off because it's just on the very bottom piece. There you go. And get rid of that. Alright, so now this is what we're going to be working with. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is slide it all the way down here. Take off, let me turn it around. Alright, we're not going to need these pieces. So they just come off. One. I'm amazed. Oh, no, man, this one's screwed on. Hang on. Phillips screwdriver is what I need now. That loose. That loose. All right, that little bushing comes out. Now, when yours are going to have a smaller threaded hole, because I've done bored this out to make it work for my mount. And that comes off. Don't need that more. Get rid of that. Okay, so now we can put this back together. Because you see, I've done some drilling and stuff. I'm fixing to show you why. Now I did that. Put this back in place. Alright, that's done. Let me reposition things. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and insert some previous footage I did where I show you how I bored this out. So I'll insert that footage now. Alright, so my next trick is try to get this, which is made of aluminum nice and strong, to fit into this flagpole. Take this out, it's a little loose. But if I can, I'm going to drill this out, and hopefully this will bushing down enough for me to make a nice snug fit. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, you get the idea. I'm kind of limited on tools. I got this stepper drill bit. I'm going to try to attempt to do this because it'll kind of get me to the right size, I believe. So with my limited tools, we're going to try this and see how it goes. It's a lot better to have a vise. Right. It's working, making a mess. Going a little bit sideways. I need more pressure on one side. Don't fit yet, does it? Ooh, I think I found the sweet spot. All the way down, nice and tight too. Good gravy. Oh, maybe too tight. Nope, just right. Alrighty then. Alright, getting closer with every step. Alright, you see how that worked? And so let's show you how nice and snug it fits. Just take this. Nice and tight. And so, and what I did previously, because you see there's already a hole, after I got it down in here where I wanted it, good and snug, I took my drill bit, a 1/4" drill bit on my drill, and just went right down here, just bored me a nice straight hole. Just went right through there, right through the other side there. So that way, because it's still a snug fit, but I just want to make sure it's not going anywhere. So I know it won't go anywhere now after I put this pin in there. I told you it's a tight fit. Hey, really good. Let's give it a love tap. Love tap. That's what Sweet Pea says when she hits me sometimes. She calls it a love tap. So now that is locked. That is really good and strong. Ain't gonna go nowhere. And tighten up that screw. These actually neat. I think once I really get this the way I want it, I think I got it dialed in. I'm gonna come back and silicone this in place, good and tight, because those little screws don't do a whole lot. But it's really sturdy and tight, not going to go anywhere. But remember, I also got the concern about it collapsing on me. So you'll see as we telescope out somewhere, there's another hole. All right. Now let's put that pin in. Let me rotate around so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right. So when it has that locking mechanism, you twist it and lock it, but I just don't trust it. So I still twist it, but I know I got my backup pin here. It's not going to go nowhere. And then I did it on the next section. I also did the same thing. Just out. There it is. So here's the last one. Same way. So there we go. All right, now let me give you a long shot of this fully extended. So now you can see how it looks fully extended. That gives you a lot of height. You can see my setup. And that's what you got at the top. Alright, so then the last thing I did was I had to come down here and drill out this hole in the bottom. And actually you got this plastic piece, but there's also 2 more plastic pieces in there. So let me show you what I did. First of all, I used my stepper bit, I thought, oh, this is perfect. It gives me plenty enough space to get my cable in. Let me get my cable. Right, so I said, oh great, I got plenty of space for my cable. That fits just fine. But then I got to realizing there was 2 more pieces of plastic I had to drill through. And in order to reach it, the stepper bit would not do it. But my 3/8 bit did. So I just stuck it in there and took my drill and just wallowed it, because it's just plastic. Now, I got through, there was like 1 piece of plastic like right here, but then there was a 3rd one that moved back and forth. And in order to get it back in position, because it scooted on me, in order to get it back in position, I had to get me a broom handle. I had to collapse it down as short as I could get it, take a broom handle, tap it back down, get it in position, and then I was able to wallow it out. You might not have that issue, but I did. So anyways, now I got You can't see, can you see through it in there? Oh, can't see yet. Alright, well you can't see through there, but my next thing is I'm gonna take the pins out and I'm gonna collapse it down so I can run my cable through there and then hook up to the other end. So now you can see how short it collapses. Nice, and so that way it's easy to store. I think my plan is probably just leave it on the back of the ladder of the RV and just take the dish off and store it in the RV while we're traveling. That's probably my plan. Alright, so now we just got to get that cable run through. Alright, so now I think you can see through there. Let's get it. Oh, there you go. So you can see all the way through the pipe. So we'll just feed that Cat 5 cable through that. Actually, this is my first attempt of running the cable through the pole and mounting it up. My first time I just had the cable flopping along the side of it. So, but this time I want to run it up through that housing like a nice and neat like it's supposed to be. So, but I'm hoping I don't run out of cable because it's cutting it kind of short. So, okay, let's try feeding the cable down through there. Should be at the other end now. Yep. Feel it? Alright, let me get this on the ground. There we go. There it is. Let me lay it on the ground where I can get to it better with just one hand. It's kind of a pain. Alright, so I got my cable coming through here. Poke it up through this. Through that. Back in place, get it lined up. There we go. Install my pin. Left tap. Alright, so now we just got to mount it, snap it to the back of the dish. Get you a view here. Of course, be sure to snap this in first. Push the cable back into the tube. Locked in place. Now we're ready to mount it to the ladder. Alright, attempt number one. I've got it fully extended as high as it'll go. A little scary. I normally don't keep it at this height, but I just want to show you how high you can make it with just using 3 sections. As you see, I've got my pins in place. They're locked. Everything's ready to go. Got my Cat 5 cable run through, and I'm handing the phone off to Sweet Pea, and she'll video me installing this thing. Here you go, Sweet Pea. Take it up. You see, we get this laid in that notch like that, and just start sliding it up. Those little pins you can rotate, they just go right on through. Keep lifting, keep lifting. You got another pin to go around. Just like that, keep lifting. That's all you gotta do. Now at this point, you come here and show my cables, honey. So at this point, I need to take the slack out of the cable. Then lower it down. That's all there is. Now step back, honey, show the whole thing. Can you get it all in there?
I make sure nobody's coming.
All right, now you stay back there and we show down the takedown process. So you ready to leave? So here's what you do. Put the slack how you pull it. Ta-da! Now you may have noticed this. This is the stuff you put in your kitchen cabinets, keep plates and stuff from sliding around. Because I need a little bit of friction because it's just plastic on plastic. It's very slick. So I was concerned if the wind picked up, if it could rotate it and get it out of alignment. So that gives it just enough friction. But when I get home, my plan is to maybe find me like a large diameter O-ring, something rubber, like 1/4 inch in diameter, or like remember the on the bottom of oil filters, you got those big square cut O-rings. If I find something like that, I could lay in the bottom, because it can't be a solid piece because my cable's got to run up through it. But something that weight, something like that, so it'll be good and rubbery. When the weight of the pole sits on it, it won't be twisting and moving. But for now, this works just fine. So anyway, I'm very pleased with it. This is how I've kind of been running it. It gives me enough height, so I can just climb up the ladder, get on the roof, easy peasy. And I got to get a better cabling solution. At the moment, I just got the cable running on the ground. So I got to get me maybe like a weatherproof box or something I can mount into here some way. I'll deal with that when I get home. I'll have more tools and cable making tools and stuff. All right, so I guess that shows you all that. So let's go inside and finish up. And just to follow up some more, so even this screw, it's made out of plastic. See, it's not very sturdy. So I thought maybe if I get me a steel screw like a wing nut, something I can put more tension on it. But I can snug this up and I can still get a hold of it and rotate it if I don't put something like this in there. So that's something that needs to be improved upon. Okay, a little update. I wanted to lock this in a little bit tighter. I didn't like it because it was just a little bit wiggly loose and those screws and stuff. So I've used me some this clear GE silicone. It is great stuff. Once it cures, it won't go nowhere. Probably never get this out again. You can see I really piled it full. Got it in there real good. So I'm just going to slip that in there and I'll wipe off the excess. I know I'm making a mess. And I'll put my pin in there. I'll pin it in place. Let me get that done real quick. Okay, so here's my mess, but it's going to work pretty good. Got it locked in good, got my pin lined up. I'll let that sit for a day or two before I mount it again and put weight on it. So that way I know that little bushing's not going to go anywhere and everything stays nice and tight. There's a shot of the inside. You can see in there. And just to show you, this will be my transport mode. I'll just leave it on the ladder. There's no need to pack it away and try to store it. I'll just leave it right here. Because the way this is made, it's got that lip on it. I just got to drop it down in here, tighten up that screw, now to lock it in place so it can't vibrate and pop out. But that'll be transport mode, and then I just take the dish and put it in storage as we're going to our next destination. That's how we're going to do that. So in case you're wondering, I just took a measurement because I was curious myself how high the antenna is off the ground. So when I measured 3 sections of the Harbor Freight flagpole, and then from the base of the flagpole buddy to the ground, the antenna will be sitting just a hair over 20 foot high. So you're a little over 20 foot high off the ground when all this is assembled this way. Don't know if you ever need 20 feet, but if you do, it's there. Most of the times you can probably get by with just the 2 sections telescoped out. But if you need a little extra height, you got it. So in case you're wondering, I'm up on the roof. Just wanted to show you the height from above the roof line. So we're pretty high up here. That's at its highest, tallest position. And this is my normal position where I normally keep it. It seems to do really well right there because I don't have too many trees in the way. So that works good for me. Well, it's the next day. I like how it turned out. I took the flagpole and I put it on the dashboard of the RV and I let it cure really good, because before, you may have noticed, I had just a little bit of wiggle in the bushing itself, but now it's rock solid. I have no movement whatsoever. Good and solid. So I'll put this together and put it back on the RV where it belongs. Just want to make you a quick video showing the download speeds, and because I've never had generation 2, all I've got is this generation 3. And it's good, and it gets really good download speeds. My assumption is because of the more surface area, maybe it can get more satellites at the same time. But let's see what we get. Do a speed test. Look at those numbers. 448 megabytes per second down. And our upload speed, we're uploading it. I think it's done thinking. Okay, looks like it's 16.5 megabytes upload, 36 milliseconds latency. Amazing numbers. Now, I don't know, like I said, if it's because I just wonder what people get with the Generation 2s. So maybe it's a combination of the larger surface area, the fact I got it on a pole that's up good and high, away from all obstructions. So, well, I am so pleased with it. I'm just really shocked at how these speeds I get, and even in the congestion, I guess the busiest part of the day, the lowest numbers I get is still over 200. So really pleased with this setup. I think you will too. Okay, trying to wrap up this video. I talked to my neighbor who also has the Starlink, but Generation 2, and I asked him about his download speeds. He says that the fastest he sees, being right next door to me, is a little over 200 meg. So evidently the Generation 3 does have a lot better download speed, so it might encourage you to make the switch. Let me also point out to you, okay, I'll add links to the items I used here, because there's those pins I use to lock the flagpole so it can't collapse. There's our flagpole buddy, stepper bit if you need one, very handy to have, and there's that GE silicone. It's great for locking that bushing in place so it's not going to move on you. And I did notice it's only $8.98. I think the last tube I bought at Walmart was $10, so it's a pretty good deal. And then also, of course, you need the flagpole. If you hold out, you can usually get like a 15-20% coupon, save you some money on the flagpole. And then let's talk about the mount. This is the one I use, the Starlink mount, for $55. And what you don't want to buy is this mount, this little piece right here, because that's all you get. It's very shallow and it's not much to grip the pole onto, so you don't want that one. You want this, because you'll be getting, let me see if it's got a diagram to it. Yeah, so in this kit, in the standard wall mount kit, you're just going to be using two parts, this aluminum pipe and this good strong base that it snaps into the base of the dish. I guess you call it the dish, even though it's flat. And I guess that's all we got for this. I think that'll fix you up. Very pleased with it. It's working really well for me. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. See you. Bye.